Welcome, everyone. I'm excited to kick off our presentation today on forest fire management. Today, we'll explore strategies and practices to effectively prevent and control forest fires. We'll cover key topics such as fire prevention, response techniques, and the importance of community involvement. So, let's get started and learn how we can better protect our forests and communities from these devastating fires. Fire as a management tool is incredibly versatile and plays a key role in many forest management practices. When we think about regeneration operations, controlled burns help remove competing vegetation, making way for new growth and ensuring healthy forest renewal. Fire hazard reduction is another crucial aspect. By strategically burning certain areas, we can reduce the risk of larger, uncontrollable wildfires down the line. Fire also contributes to habitat improvement for wildlife, creating diverse environments that many species depend on for shelter and food. Additionally, controlled fire is used to control diseases and insect pests that threaten forest health, helping maintain a balanced ecosystem. Improving forest accessibility is another benefit. Fire can clear pathways or open areas, making it easier for people to enjoy and manage these lands responsibly. And of course, fire has other uses as well, such as preparing land for certain types of vegetation or managing invasive species. Overall, fire isn't just a destructive force. When used carefully and intentionally, it's an essential tool for sustainable forest management and ecosystem health. Let's talk about fire, a critical aspect of safety and risk management. First, fire prevention is all about proactive measures, identifying potential hazards before they turn into real problems. This includes proper storage of flammable materials, regular maintenance, and education to ensure everyone knows how to prevent fires from starting. Next, fire management involves planning and preparing for the possibility of a fire. This could mean creating clear evacuation routes, having fire drills regularly, and ensuring that fire detection and alarm systems are in place and functioning properly. Finally, fire control is what we do when a fire actually occurs. It involves immediate response efforts like using extinguishers, calling emergency services, and implementing containment strategies to prevent the fire from spreading further. All these steps, prevention, management, and control, are interconnected and essential in protecting lives, property, and the environment. They form a comprehensive approach that underpins the overall safety strategy we're discussing today. Let's take a closer look at fire prevention. This is a crucial part of our overall safety strategy. Fire prevention involves identifying potential hazards and taking proactive steps to eliminate or reduce the risk of fire. It's about creating a safe environment before anything even happens. Simple measures like proper storage of flammable materials, regular maintenance of electrical systems, and ensuring that fire extinguishers are accessible can make a huge difference. Remember, prevention is always better than dealing with the aftermath of a fire. By staying vigilant and following safety protocols, we can protect ourselves, our colleagues, and our property. This focus on prevention ties into the bigger picture of safety culture we're building together. Preventing forest fires before they even start is always better than having to control or put them out once they've occurred. It's a proactive approach that can save us a lot of trouble down the line. One of the main advantages of prevention is that it typically involves low-cost measures. These are relatively simple actions that can significantly reduce the chances of a fire breaking out. By focusing on prevention, we also minimize or even eliminate the huge losses that fires can cause, whether that's damage to the forest, wildlife, or nearby communities. It's much easier and less costly to prevent a fire than to fight one after it starts. Another key point is that prevention methods are generally less cumbersome. They're often straightforward and don't require the complex, resource-intensive efforts needed once a fire is raging. And finally, when it comes to technical inputs and manpower, prevention demands less expertise and fewer skilled workers compared to the intense resources needed for fire suppression. All these factors highlight why prevention is not just more cost-effective, but also more efficient in protecting our forests and ecosystems. Now, let's look at some of the various direct and indirect methods used for fire management. One key method is the fire danger rating. This is essentially a process where we forecast the likelihood of a forest fire occurring over a specific period, whether that's a week or a day. It helps us prepare and take preventive measures in advance. Another important aspect is the goodwill of local communities. When communities are involved and motivated, they become our first line of defense. Educating these communities about fire risks and safety measures is equally vital, as informed people are more likely to help prevent fires. There are also restrictions on certain activities during high-risk periods, such as banning open burning or certain agricultural practices that could ignite fires. To encourage compliance, some regions implement rewards, awards, or even punishments for those who adhere to or violate fire safety rules. Lastly, legislation plays a critical role. For example, the Indian Forest Act of 1927 provides legal frameworks and regulations for forest protection, including fire management. All these methods, whether forecasting, community involvement, regulation, or legislation, work together to create a comprehensive approach to reducing forest fire risks and safeguarding our forests. Now, let's take a look at some of the key signs and notices used in fire safety management. Signboards and display boards are essential tools for communicating important safety messages clearly and effectively. They are usually placed in visible locations to alert people to potential hazards or safety procedures. Next, we have posters and pamphlets. These are great for raising awareness and providing detailed information about fire prevention and safety measures. Distributing pamphlets can help educate everyone on how to stay safe. Notices are also crucial. They can inform people about specific safety instructions, updates, or emergency procedures that need to be followed. Moving on, the fire and risk boards serve as visual reminders of the dangers present and the precautions required. They help keep safety at the forefront of everyone's mind. Now, an important aspect of fire safety is the reduction of fire hazards. This involves identifying potential risks and taking proactive steps to minimize them. One effective method is the use of fire breaks and fire lines. These are barriers or cleared areas that prevent the spread of fire across a landscape or property. There are several ways to establish these fire breaks. The mechanical method involves physical removal of combustible material, like plowing or bulldozing to create a barrier. Chemical methods use fire-retardant substances to slow down or stop the fire's progress. Vegetative methods involve managing and clearing vegetation to reduce fuel loads, thinning out trees, or removing underbrush. Burning is another technique, sometimes called controlled or prescribed burning, where controlled fires are set intentionally to consume fuel and create a buffer zone. All these strategies are vital for effective fire risk reduction, and choosing the right method depends on the specific situation and environment. By understanding and implementing these signs, notices, and fire break techniques, we can significantly enhance our fire safety measures and protect lives and property more effectively. Let's take a closer look at fire lines, which are essential for ensuring safety and access during fire emergencies. First, we have internal fire lines, which are primarily used within a facility or site to quickly reach and control a fire before it spreads. These are crucial for initial response efforts. Next, we have external fire lines. These are set up outside the immediate area, creating a buffer zone to prevent the fire from spreading further and to protect surrounding properties or natural resources. They serve as a barrier that helps contain the fire. Moving on, we have permanent fire lines. These are permanently established routes or barriers, such as fire breaks or fire-resistant zones, that are always in place. They are designed for ongoing safety and quick access whenever needed. Then we encounter temporary fire lines. These are created as needed, often during a fire event, to contain or control the fire temporarily. They might be constructed with equipment or natural barriers and are vital for adaptive response strategies. Connecting all these points, Understanding the different types of fire lines helps us plan and respond effectively, ensuring safety and minimizing damage during fire incidents. Each type plays a specific role, and knowing when and how to use them is key in fire management. Let's talk about early or control burning. This is a technique where we intentionally burn all inflammable material in a forest before the fire-prone season actually begins. The idea is to reduce the amount of fuel available for any potential wildfires, making future fires less intense and easier to manage. Now, implementing control burning isn't just about lighting a fire and hopping for the best. It requires careful planning, often on a triennial basis, meaning every few years. This helps us maintain a balance and ensure the forest remains healthy while minimizing fire risks. When planning these burns, we also consider the species composition of the forest. Different species respond differently to fire, and some are more fire-resistant than others. Understanding which species are present helps us tailor our burning strategies effectively. Locality conditions are another crucial factor. The topography, soil type, and weather patterns of the area all influence how and when we should carry out these burns. We need to adapt our approach to fit the specific conditions of each forest area. Finally, we have to keep in mind the availability of funds. Control burning and other fire prevention measures require resources, and budgeting properly ensures we can carry out these practices consistently and effectively. In essence, early or control burning, when done thoughtfully and strategically, plays a vital role in forest fire management, helping protect our forests while maintaining ecological balance. This slide doesn't contain enough information. That's why we're moving to the next slide. One of the key advantages of having a solid fire prevention plan is that forest managers can plan their operations well in advance. This proactive approach allows us to allocate resources efficiently and prepare for potential fire risks before they escalate. It also means we can coordinate efforts more effectively across different teams and agencies. Another important point is that with a clear plan, adequate provisions can be made in the annual budget. This ensures we have the necessary funding and supplies ready when needed, rather than scrambling at the last minute. It helps us be more financially responsible and prepared for any fire-related emergencies. Monitoring and evaluating fire prevention measures becomes much more effective with a structured plan in place. We can track what's working and identify areas that need improvement. This ongoing evaluation is crucial for adapting our strategies and making sure our prevention efforts are as effective as possible. Finally, this plan can be seamlessly integrated with other operational activities aimed at preventing forest fires. Whether it's controlled burns, community outreach, or patrols, combining these efforts creates a comprehensive and cohesive approach. This integration helps us maximize our resources and enhances the overall safety and health of our forests. Let's start by looking at the various sources of data we use in wildfire risk assessment. We rely on topo-sheets, aerial photographs, and GPS data to gather accurate geographic information. Remote sensing data, along with work plans or WP, helps us analyze large areas efficiently. Next, we consider infrastructure such as roads and communication networks, which are crucial for accessibility and emergency response. Settlements are mapped to understand where people live and how they might be impacted. Moving on, we incorporate vegetation type and density maps. These are vital because different types of vegetation and their density influence fire behavior significantly. We also use digital elevation models, or DEMS, to understand the terrain. From DEMS, we derive slope maps and aspect maps, the direction the slope faces, which are important factors in fire spread. Building on that, we calculate indices like the slope index and aspect index to quantify how these terrain features influence fire risk. We also develop accessibility indices to evaluate how easily fire crews can reach different areas. Then there are fuel type indices, which categorize the kind of fuel present, whether it's grass, shrub, or forest, since fuel characteristics directly impact fire intensity and spread. Now, combining all these data layers, we generate fire risk maps, or fire maps, that visually represent areas of varying danger. These maps are essential tools for planning and response, helping us prioritize resources and actions effectively. Throughout this process, integrating topographical, vegetation, and infrastructural data allows us to develop a comprehensive understanding of fire risk and enhances our ability to manage and mitigate wildfires efficiently. This slide doesn't contain enough information. That's why we're moving to the next slide. Let's talk about detection. Detection is a crucial step in our overall process because it allows us to identify the presence of specific signals or anomalies within data. The key point here is that effective detection relies on accurate algorithms that can distinguish true signals from noise or irrelevant information. It's important to understand that detection methods can vary depending on the context, whether we're dealing with cybersecurity, medical diagnostics, or other fields. The goal is to minimize false positives and false negatives, ensuring we catch what we need to without overwhelming ourselves with false alarms. This step ties into the overall theme of our presentation by highlighting how early and precise detection can lead to better decision-making and improved outcomes. Without reliable detection, the entire process can become less efficient and more prone to errors. So, mastering detection techniques is fundamental to the success of any system we're working on. Now, let's take a look at the various methods, procedures, and equipment used to detect forest fires. One of the oldest and most traditional methods is the use of fire watchers. These individuals are stationed in high-risk areas during peak fire seasons, keeping a vigilant eye out for any signs of smoke or flames. Their role is crucial because they can often spot fires early before they spread. Next, we have fire watchtowers. These towers are strategically placed in vulnerable areas and are equipped with binoculars and sometimes even cameras. They serve as a constant eye in the sky, allowing personnel to monitor large stretches of forest efficiently. The importance of these towers lies in their ability to provide early warnings, which are vital for quick response. Lookout points are another key tool in fire detection. These are designated spots with a clear, panoramic view of the forest, often accessible to both trained personnel and local community members. They serve as easy-to-reach vantage points for spotting signs of fire early on. Aerial patrols also play a significant role. Using aircraft or drones, authorities can cover vast and hard-to-reach areas quickly. This method is especially useful in extensive forests or regions that are difficult to access from the ground. Finally, involving local communities is a critical part of early fire detection. Locals are often the first to notice signs of fire due to their familiarity with the land. Engaging communities not only helps in early detection, but also fosters a sense of shared responsibility in protecting the forest. All of these methods, whether human observers, technology, or community involvement, are interconnected. Together, they form a comprehensive approach to early fire detection, which is essential for effective forest fire management and minimizing damage. Once a fire is detected, the next crucial step is reporting it promptly. This means communicating the occurrence and the exact location of the fire to the nearest forest post control room. There are several reliable methods to do this. One common way is by using radio or wireless communication, which allows quick and direct contact. Another method is through television, especially in areas where such technology is available, providing immediate visual confirmation. Lastly, if necessary, reporting can be done in person by going directly to the control room. The key point here is the importance of swift and efficient reporting, as it ensures that the firefighting efforts can be initiated without delay. This step is vital because early detection and reporting are fundamental to controlling the fire before it spreads further, aligning with our overall goal of protecting the forest and minimizing damage. Let's now focus on fire control and extinguishing. When a fire occurs, it's crucial to have a clear understanding of how to control and put it out effectively. The key points here involve identifying the type of fire and choosing the appropriate extinguishing method. Different fires require different approaches, so knowing whether it's a wood fire, electrical, or flammable liquids is vital. Controlling a fire quickly can prevent it from spreading and causing more damage. This might involve removing the fire's fuel source, shutting off power if safe to do so, or using barriers to contain the fire. When it comes to extinguishing, always remember the PASS technique: pull, aim, squeeze, and sweep. Using the correct extinguisher and method ensures safety and effectiveness. Connecting this to our overall safety theme, proper fire control and extinguishing are essential skills that can save lives and protect property. Training and preparedness make all the difference in responding swiftly and effectively in an emergency. Let's talk about the key prerequisites for effective forest fire control. First, early detection is absolutely crucial. Catching a fire early can make all the difference in containment and safety. Next, communication plays a vital role. Quick, clear communication ensures that everyone involved is on the same page and can respond promptly. Quick action is essential. The faster we respond, the better our chances of controlling the fire before it spreads uncontrollably. Having the right personnel on the ground is also critical. Trained and prepared individuals are our first line of defense. Water supply cannot be overlooked either. Adequate water sources and access are necessary for suppression efforts. Tools and other requirements, such as fire breaks, protective gear, and firefighting equipment, are also fundamental. Without the proper tools, our ability to fight the fire effectively diminishes. Transportation is another key element. Being able to reach the fire quickly and efficiently can save valuable time and resources. All these factors, detection, communication, quick action, personnel, water, tools, and transport, are interconnected. Together, they form the foundation for successful forest fire control, helping us protect both the environment and the communities around us. Early detection is a crucial part of effective fire management. It all starts with fire watchers, who are often stationed in strategic locations to keep a vigilant eye on the landscape. These individuals play a vital role in spotting any signs of fire early on. Watchtowers and lookout points are also essential tools. They provide elevated vantage points that give a broader view of the area, making it easier to detect smoke or flames from a distance. Detection and communication go hand in hand. Once a fire is spotted, quick and clear communication ensures that the right response can be mobilized immediately. This rapid exchange of information can make a significant difference in controlling the fire before it spreads. Aerial patrols add an extra layer of early detection, especially in large or remote areas where ground observers might have limited reach. Drones or aircraft can survey extensive regions quickly and identify fires that might otherwise go unnoticed. Finally, involving local communities is a key strategy. They are often the first to notice changes in their environment and can serve as an invaluable early warning system. Engaging communities not only enhances early detection, but also fosters a collective effort to protect the landscape. All these elements, fire watchers, towers, aerial patrols, and communities, are interconnected parts of a comprehensive early detection system that helps us act swiftly and effectively to prevent small fires from becoming devastating wildfires. Let's take a moment to focus on the concept of the watchtower. This symbol is really central to understanding how we approach our work and our mission. The watchtower represents vigilance, alertness, and the importance of staying watchful for opportunities and challenges alike. It's about being alert and prepared at all times. When we think about the overall theme of this presentation, which is about strategic awareness and proactive engagement, the watchtower perfectly encapsulates that idea. It reminds us that we need to keep an eye on the bigger picture, monitor our environment, and stay ready to respond thoughtfully. So, in essence, the watchtower is a metaphor for maintaining focus, staying aware, and being proactive in everything we do. Let's talk about fire watchers. Fire watchers are crucial personnel whose main job is to keep a close eye on the fire scene during all phases of firefighting operations. They are responsible for monitoring the fire area for any signs of rekindling or flare-ups, which can happen even after the main fire appears to be controlled. Their vigilance helps prevent flare-ups from spreading unexpectedly, protecting both the team and the surrounding environment. Fire watchers also serve as a point of communication. They alert the crew immediately if they notice any changes or hazards, ensuring quick response times. This role is especially important when dealing with fires in areas with heavy fuel loads or in situations where the fire is difficult to contain. Connecting this to the overall theme of safety and preparedness, fire watchers embody the proactive safety measures that are essential in firefighting. Their presence can make the difference between a controlled situation and a dangerous rekindling. So always remember, having dedicated fire watchers is a key part of effective fire management and ensuring everyone's safety on the scene. Let's talk about communication methods during firefighting operations. First, we have special messengers, which are essential for passing urgent messages quickly when technology might be unavailable. Next, telephones remain a reliable means for more direct and immediate communication. Radio and wireless systems are also critical. They provide real-time updates and coordination across different units, ensuring everyone stays connected. Quick action is vital, so maintaining an adequate strength of the firefighting squad is necessary to respond effectively. The squad must also keep regular communication with the range office, base stations, and watch towers to stay informed about conditions and instructions. Additionally, the team should be well equipped with transport, tools, and machines to handle various tasks efficiently. All these communication strategies and resources are fundamental to effective firefighting, helping us coordinate quickly, stay informed, and act decisively to protect lives and property. Personnel comprise of a diverse group, including the staff of the Forest Department, local labor, volunteers, and staff from other government departments. Each of these groups plays a vital role in our efforts. The water component involves tankers filled with water, which are essential for ensuring a reliable supply. It's crucial that everyone involved has full knowledge of the water sources available. Understanding where our water comes from and how to access it efficiently helps us plan better and respond quickly to any challenges. When all these personnel and resources work together with clear knowledge and coordination, we can effectively manage our resources and achieve our conservation and management goals. Now let's talk about the tools and other requirements essential for our operations. First, hand tools like spades, pickaxes, and axes are fundamental. They are versatile and crucial for many tasks, from clearing pathways to digging trenches. Then, we need sand, which can be important for various purposes, including fire control or creating a stable base for certain structures. Chemical extinguishers are also vital for safety, especially in case of fires, which we must always be prepared for. Food is, of course, necessary to sustain the team during extended operations. Transport is another critical aspect, and having a good network of jeepable roads and mule tracks makes a huge difference in moving personnel and supplies efficiently. Additionally, tractors and tracked vehicles are invaluable for heavy-duty tasks, such as clearing land or transporting larger loads. All these tools and resources are interconnected and play a vital role in ensuring our operations are effective and safe. They support the overall theme of preparedness and adaptability in our work. Now, let's talk about monitoring through GIS, which stands for Geographic Information Systems. This is a powerful tool that allows us to visualize, analyze, and interpret spatial data in real time. By using GIS, we can track various environmental and infrastructural parameters more effectively. It helps us identify patterns, monitor changes over time, and make informed decisions quickly. The key advantage here is the ability to integrate multiple data sources into one platform, giving us a comprehensive view of the situation on the ground. This aligns perfectly with our overall goal of improving monitoring and management processes through technology, making our efforts more precise, proactive, and efficient. This slide doesn't contain enough information. That's why we're moving to the next slide. Let's talk about control and extinguishing. When it comes to fire safety, controlling the fire means taking action to limit its spread and reduce its intensity. This can involve techniques like creating fire breaks or removing fuel sources. Extinguishing, on the other hand, is about putting the fire out completely. Different fires require different methods, such as using water, foam, dry chemicals, or CO2. It's crucial to understand the right approach because improper extinguishing can sometimes make things worse. For example, using water on an electrical fire could be dangerous. Throughout this process, safety is key, both for the responders and for others nearby. Connecting this back to the overall theme, effective control and extinguishing are vital parts of fire management. They help minimize damage, save lives, and prevent the fire from reigniting. So, mastering these concepts is fundamental for anyone involved in fire safety or emergency response. The factors which influence the method that we choose to fight a fire depend on several key elements. First, the duration and intensity of the fire are crucial. More intense and longer-lasting fires often require more aggressive or specialized approaches. Next, the distance from the base station matters because it affects how quickly resources can be mobilized and brought to the scene. The time interval between fire detection and the start of firefighting operations is also critical. The sooner we can respond after detecting a fire, the better our chances of controlling it effectively. Availability of water, earth, or other extinguishing materials can make a significant difference in our approach. We also need to consider the availability of manpower and personnel. Having enough trained individuals on hand can determine whether we can deploy certain tactics or need to adapt our strategy. All of these factors are interconnected and directly influence our decision-making process in firefighting. Understanding them helps us choose the most effective method to protect lives, property, and the environment. Let's take a closer look at fire control methods. When it comes to firefighting with water, this is one of the most common and effective techniques, especially for Class A fires involving ordinary combustibles like wood or paper. Water cools the fire and reduces the temperature below ignition point. Next, there's beating the flames, which is often used in smaller fires or in situations where targeted suppression is needed. It involves physically smothering or knocking down flames to prevent them from spreading. Moving on to firefighting with earth, this method is typically used in wildfires or large outdoor fires. Covering the fire with soil or earth helps cut off the oxygen supply, effectively smothering the flames and preventing reignition. Firefighting with chemicals involves using agents like foam, dry chemicals, or specialized suppressants. These chemicals interrupt the chemical reactions of the fire or create a barrier, making them highly effective for certain types of fires, especially flammable liquids. Counter-firing, or backfiring, is a strategic method used mainly in wildland firefighting. It involves intentionally setting controlled fires ahead of the main fire to burn up fuel and create a fire break, thereby controlling the spread. Finally, fighting underground fires presents unique challenges. These fires can smolder for long periods and are difficult to access. Techniques include using water or chemicals to extinguish the fire, but often it requires specialized equipment and careful monitoring to prevent reignition or explosions. Understanding these various methods helps us appreciate the complexity of firefighting and highlights the importance of choosing the right approach based on the specific fire scenario. Firefighting with water relies on some key properties that make it such an effective extinguisher. First, water has a high capacity to absorb heat, which means it can really help in lowering the temperature of the burning material quickly. It also has excellent resistance to heat itself, so it doesn't break down easily when exposed to high temperatures. Another important property is its high coefficient of volumetric expansion during evaporation, which allows it to absorb a lot of heat as it turns into vapor. Now, these properties translate into effective fire extinguishing effects. For example, water reduces the flow of oxygen to the fire by creating a barrier, which helps smother the flames. It also provides a cooling effect, bringing down the temperature of the fire and surrounding materials. And lastly, water can help isolate the burning material from other combustible substances, preventing the fire from spreading further. All of these factors work together, making water a versatile and essential tool in firefighting, especially when dealing with fires where these properties can be fully exploited to control and extinguish the flames. Now, let's take a look at some of the methods used in firefighting to control and extinguish fires. One common technique is beating, which involves physically tamping down or beating the fire to suppress it. We also see the use of green bushes and shrubs, which can serve as natural fire breaks or be used as materials in creating fire lines. Brooms made from the branches of trees are another tool. These are used to sweep away flammable debris or to clear an area quickly. Wet gunny bags are also vital. They're soaked in water and then placed over fires or used to smother flames, cutting off the oxygen supply. Fire beaters, which are specialized tools often made of soaked materials, are used to beat down the flames directly, especially in grass or forest fires. All of these methods highlight the importance of using available natural and man-made resources effectively in fire suppression. It's about combining traditional techniques with practical tools to control fires efficiently and protect lives and property. Firefighting with earth is a traditional and effective method, especially in certain situations. When we throw earth, including mud or sand, onto a fire, it helps to lower the temperature of the ignition point. This technique essentially smothers the flames and reduces the heat, making it easier to control the fire. The tools we use for this method are quite simple but essential. Shovels and spades are common for scooping and throwing earth quickly and efficiently. Rakes and fire beaters help distribute the earth evenly over the fire, ensuring better coverage. Axes and saws are also important, especially when dealing with larger brush or wood, to clear the area and create fire breaks. Overall, this method is a vital part of our firefighting toolkit, especially in wildland or forest fires. It connects to the broader theme of using natural and readily available resources to contain and extinguish fires safely and effectively. Now, let's talk about firefighting with chemicals. When dealing with different types of fires, we often use specific chemical solutions to suppress the flames effectively. One category includes solutions of organic salts, such as calcium chloride and magnesium chloride. These are particularly useful because they can quickly form a barrier on the surface and help in smothering the fire. Next, we have solutions of surface active substances like sulfonal NP1 and booster substances such as OP7 and OP10. These chemicals work by reducing surface tension, which helps in spreading the foam and covering the burning material more efficiently. They're essential in creating a thick foam layer that isolates the fuel from oxygen. We also use viscose solutions, including methyl cellulose and sodium alginate. These are thickening agents that help in forming a stable foam or gel, which can be applied to control fires, especially in sensitive environments or where a more controlled application is needed. Finally, some chemicals produce smoke, such as silicon tetrachloride and phosphorus oxychloride. While these might sound counterintuitive, in certain fire suppression scenarios, smoke-producing chemicals can be used to displace oxygen or create a barrier, aiding in fire control. All these chemical solutions are vital tools in our firefighting arsenal, and understanding their properties helps us choose the right approach depending on the fire type and situation. This connects back to the overall theme of using specialized chemical agents to improve fire suppression effectiveness safely and efficiently. Now, let's take a closer look at some examples of different types of formulations. Starting with emulsions, these are mixtures where one liquid is dispersed in another, such as calcium chloride combined with carbon tetrachloride. Emulsions are common in various industries because they help deliver active ingredients evenly and improve stability. Moving on to foams, these typically involve ammonium salts of primary and secondary alkyl sulfates. Foams are interesting because they trap air or gas bubbles within a liquid, which makes them useful in applications like cleaning and firefighting, where the foam can cover surfaces effectively. Next, we have suspensions, which consist of particles like bentonite clay and sodium calcium borate suspended in a liquid. Suspensions are vital when you need to keep solid particles evenly distributed, preventing them from settling too quickly. Think of products like certain medicines or paints. Finally, there are solids such as soda and diammonium phosphate. These are straightforward solid formulations used as fertilizers, cleaning agents, or food additives, showcasing how different formulations serve various practical purposes. Connecting this to our overall theme, these examples highlight the diversity in formulation types and emphasize how understanding their composition is key to optimizing performance in different applications. Let's talk about counter-firing or ground-back fire. This technique involves starting fire in a direction opposite to where the enemy's fire is advancing. It's a strategic move to counteract the enemy's momentum. You can choose to target the frontal edges or the flank edges of the enemy position, depending on the situation. Before you initiate counter-firing, it's crucial to select a support or a baseline from which these fires will originate. This helps in coordinating your efforts effectively. Keep in mind, each team should be composed of just 2 or 3 persons to maintain agility and control. Throughout the process, it's essential to monitor the operation carefully to ensure safety and effectiveness. Now, moving to mopping up operations, these are conducted after initial combat to clear out remaining threats and secure the area. All of these steps are vital parts of our overall strategy to neutralize the enemy and regain control of the battlefield. Fighting underground fires is quite a challenge, and it's often very difficult to suppress them completely. One common method involves digging trenches or holes along the perimeter of the fire. These are then used to manually extinguish the exposed parts of the fire, but I should note that this process is very labor-intensive. It requires a lot of effort and resources to dig and then fight the fire from these trenches. Another approach involves making small openings in the soil cover itself. These openings allow us to pour water directly into the underground fire zone, helping to cool and smother the flames from below. It's a targeted method that can be quite effective, especially when combined with other techniques. Additionally, we sometimes use special tools like peat barrels. These barrels can introduce wetting agents, like water or other liquids, into the underground fire area. These agents help to dampen the fire more effectively by penetrating the soil and reducing the fire's ability to reignite. Overall, these methods highlight just how complex and labor-intensive underground fire suppression can be, but they are crucial in preventing the fire from spreading further and causing more damage. This ties into our broader theme of how we need a variety of specialized techniques to manage different types of fires effectively. Let's take a closer look at aerial control. When we talk about aerial control, we're really focusing on how to effectively manage and operate aircraft or drones in the air. This involves understanding the key systems that keep these vehicles stable and responsive, such as avionics, autopilot systems, and manual controls. A crucial point here is the importance of precise control mechanisms, which ensure safety and efficiency during flight. Whether it's navigating complex airspace or performing delicate maneuvers, having reliable aerial control systems in place is essential. Additionally, this ties back to our overall theme of ensuring safe and effective operation, whether in manned aircraft or unmanned systems. Mastering aerial control is fundamental because it directly impacts the vehicle's performance and safety in various environments. So, in essence, aerial control isn't just about steering. It's about maintaining stability, responding accurately to commands, and ensuring the mission's success, all while keeping safety at the forefront. This slide doesn't contain enough information. That's why we're moving to the next slide. Now, let's take a quick look at some of the different types of fire we might encounter or manage. First up is low-density fire. This type of fire typically occurs in areas where vegetation is sparse, and the flames tend to be less intense and spread more slowly. It's important because it can be easier to control and can help reduce fuel loads gradually. Next, we have ground fire. These fires burn below the surface, often smoldering in the leaf litter, roots, and organic soils. They can persist for a long time and are tricky because they're not always visible on the surface. Managing ground fires is crucial since they can reignite surface fires and cause unexpected flare-ups. Moving on to prescribed burning. This is a proactive strategy where we intentionally set controlled fires under specific conditions. The goal is to reduce excess fuel, restore natural fire cycles, and improve ecosystem health. It requires careful planning and expertise to ensure it's safe and effective. Finally, crown fire. These are the most intense and dangerous type of wildfires, where flames leap from treetop to treetop. Crown fires can spread rapidly and cause significant damage, but understanding their behavior helps us develop better prevention and suppression tactics. Overall, recognizing these different fire types helps us tailor our response and management strategies to protect lives, property, and ecosystems effectively.